So, yes, I absolutely loved Arthur and my 20-year-old chick-called friend who admitted to their abuse. So, abuse is abuse, it's bad, but it's really nice when the abuser is able to say, yeah, I'm not right. Yeah, I really get out of hand and I wronged you. I was wrong. Arthur was like, so I just started out to say, I like, an abuser that at least can admit a little bit to the abuse that they've done. To say, oh yeah, I noticed that I'm really excellent at work, but when I come home, there's something wrong with me. I'm too angry. At least my late husband, he was real abusive to me, but I do know why, because it was the end of his life. He always hated himself, but absolutely hated himself when he was with me. So, see, his first girlfriend, I can't say that he wasn't abusive to her, because he probably might have been. I have no idea, because I wouldn't have known who she was, but I could just imagine that their first year might have been alright. He's a total asshole, cheater, like most men. I know he cheated on his first girlfriend without even him ever telling me, because of I was forced to deal with him for how long, and then him wanting to cheat on me right after we got married. It's like, yeah, well, this is what you did to your first girlfriend too. One of my thoughts. So, okay, I wanted to get into that later. Okay, quickly, he went out with his first girlfriend from 15 to 18. 15, 16, 17, 18. And broke up with her, knocked her up. Okay, cheated on her. Not only did he cheat on her, knocked her up. And then, can you imagine the insane abuser that everyone calls a narcissist? I don't know when that word started, but whatever. Everyone kind of knows what a narcissist is. They are just not a person. They are monsters. So, in the beginning, I'm sure maybe this was his first relationship, so he might have been okay. Then he totally, used her, and all insane abusers do. So, her mom and dad smoked pot, drank beer, and he used her. And, oh, hey, here's your nice boyfriend. Oh, boy, you guys are gonna get married. Yeah, he knocks her up and leaves her. And not only that, he cheated on her. Really, really nice guy, right? So, God, what's my point? I guess that's it. Oh, he was super abusive then to her towards the end. Like, not only did he cheat on her, not only did he knock her up, but then these insane people, they cheat on their women. The drunk asshole, the drunk pervert, not only cheats on his woman, but every guy that she talks to, he'll beat her up. I'm sure he beat up, her and the other girlfriends that he had that he adored. I'm sure he beat them up. He beat me up, so of course he would have beat up his first girlfriend. And I would imagine that would have been like the third year or something, that where she's talking to another guy at school, wherever, at the grocery store, and he just gets her alone and attacks her. Sure, that happened. Okay, we're getting back into Arthur admitting to his abuse. Like, hey, I know I'm excellent at work, when I come home, there's something wrong with me. And yeah, I was bad to my wife. Yeah, I did wrong. Yeah. Now, it's really rotten if he never ever told his wife they did wrong. I mean, this is the way abusers are. They're nicer to... And, okay, I have to say... he was nicer to me because he was not around, so he had other women to abuse worse, and this is just so awful. But, you know, like, where he died at, well, he should have died in that house. And I visited, and my older son Alex visited there. So he raped a girl outside because I wouldn't have sex with him. So that shows you he held me to some type of pedestal, you know, than to a total stranger. I just got raped with a stranger, and guys do that. They're married and they'll go and rape and beat up a girl, and then, you know, the wife has no idea. This is crazy. This is what happens. So, alright, yeah, he was a bad guy. But he was less abusive to me because he was never around. Okay. So, when he was young, he did admit to all of his abuse. Like, pretend a lot narcissist was never real. Never ever said, well, I abused because I was abused. Right? Some abusers are able to think that through and say, yeah, there's something wrong with me. Now, pretend I'm not a narcissist? No, he has... Something's majorly wrong. He is not able at all, in any way, to admit to any of his wrongs. I mean, this whole time, he tortured me for 4 whole months. And the only thing that he could say is, I'm really sorry for what you think I did. Like, what the fuck? That's not I'm really sorry for anything that I did. Well, you have to admit to what you did. Alright, it's not an apology. You're not sorry at all. You may have a little bit of bad feelings because I'm hurt. I mean, but, like, that's, like, oh my god, on the scale of, like, 1% of me screaming and crying and saying, you hurt me. It didn't affect him at all. He's just, well, there's something wrong with you. You're the one who's labeled super crazy. You're the one who has a mental issue, a mental problem. Like, I'm not the one who gave a total stranger scammer $200,000. That proves that you're Looney Tunes. I'm not the one who had rotted food in my refrigerator for 23 years. That shows incompetence of not being able to take care of what you have ever in your life. Being a hoarder and being like a total slob. And look at your car. With how many empty cans of gas cans in it? What's that for? You think you're gonna, like, you can't use them. You should have thrown them out. You should have had when I went and got my papers out, you should have thrown them out with a trash bag. Guess what? My papers, he threw it away. What I wanted. He threw that away. He went through the whole thing. I had like 4 copybooks. What I was looking for, what I had in the one bag, and I found the bag. He went through the whole thing and he threw out the important part. When I was crying and I was writing it out at Pyramid, Duncansville, rehab, he threw that out. I hate his lies. Oh, I didn't touch any of your stuff. I mean, he's way beyond delusional. Because at least Artie was able to say, well, yeah, I was abused. And I'm really bad when I come home from work. I mean, at least he's able to think that through. Pretend a narcissist, no, he's never done one wrong thing in his life. No, he's always right. And he's so godly and goes to church every Sunday, and there's nothing ever wrong with him. He's never ever done anything wrong. He's always right. So, getting back to Eunice's rabbit being served for dinner, late Arthur Hesnut III was abused to the extent told his kids, yeah, he had a pet duck for Thanksgiving. He was nauseated. The family cooked the duck that he had, and he didn't know that. And, like, I mean, he didn't eat it. He was just nauseated. He couldn't believe, like, well, what are you serving? Oh, we're serving your little pet, whatever his name was, Joey. We're serving little Joey that you run around outside. Well, what's the big deal? The animals are meant to eat. Yeah, but that's my pet. Like, oh, well, we're poor and we didn't have anything. Have the pig to eat, so we didn't have a turkey. We decided to eat your duck, your pet duck. Sorry, Artie. So, yeah, that really upset him. And I liked what Patrick T said, like, the abuse of an animal a person will do to a child. Like, that's, like, when you go into a person's personal belongings, like Pretend a Narcissist just did with all my paperwork. And he stole my important paperwork that I personally read. I mean, I could have cared less. I went through it all. I could have cared less about any of it. But that part, and he got that part of all of what I wrote out. Which, I mean, I've been stopped and stopped and stopped and stopped again and again and again and again. My husband threw my stuff out, and somehow I still kept that little part of the diary, like, way back from 2019 to 2020. It stayed in the car, and Pretend a Narcissist has it, and he went through all my husband's belongings and all my belongings, and he threw it out. And he's in total denial. It doesn't matter what you say. He's useless to talk to, because he talks for hours and hours. No, I used to do that with my best friend, Rosalind Kronk. I don't know whatever happened to her, but it's one weirdo. He was a child molester. Whoa. I used to live Columbia Avenue. Yeah, he really, really weird. Really, really weird. He child molested this little girl that was 12, and she always got cigarettes, and he French kissed my youngest, David. I went and I tell child molesters, this is what happened, and they don't do anything. Like, I had to get her, and it's like, ew, look, this is what she did. Just like, little 5-year-old Christopher had sex with a 5-year-old, and I couldn't believe that. I'm like, oh my God, what? Come on, you have to explain it to me, little Christopher at 5 years old. What did she do? What happened? She got my little pee-pee hard. She made it hard, and then she jumped on me, jumped up and down. And I thought that was serious, but it wasn't that traumatic to him. He wasn't in tears or anything. I mean, it's not right and stuff, but it didn't affect him as being a happy little boy it didn't majorly affect him. Okay. Just, unbelievable stuff that happened. And the nanny didn't care, so I went and told the dad, well, I'm like, oh, this is important, this is bad. Nothing's done. Just like little David was kissed at age 3. The girl was 12, and the child molester tried to get her. And she says, "Oh, that guy's a child molester. He's disgusting." I'm like, well, God, you're 12 years old, and you're child molesting my little kid by French kissing him. What the hell's going on here? And this is going overboard. And then I was 11 years old. I got naked with my little brother, okay, at 3. But I didn't do anything. I just felt like, oh my God. I stopped. I said, this is horribly wrong. I just felt like death. Oh my God, like when I was child molested. So I stopped it right away. No touching, like, oh my God, I wanted to die when I didn't do anything. And my mom falsely said, I child molested my younger brother. No, I didn't touch him. I knew it was wrong. Oh my God, I can't even tell you the truth. No, of course not.